The hauls are piling up, and my memory is fading with age. No idea what's in here. It was labeled as minifigure lot, so that's not very helpful. But we did pay $147 for it, and it looked like a pretty big pile in the picture. So let's go treasure hunting, shall we? What's up, everybody? My name is Aaron. I am the Brick Scavenger, and we are going to dig through this pile right here to see if we can find any treasure. Let's start with a weight, because weights are fun to know kind of what we paid per fig. So this, I don't know how well you can see the scale. It looks like it's tipping, 17, 18 ounces, something in that neighborhood. So it's a little bit more than a pound, which is about 100 figs. So at 150 bucks, that means we paid about $1.50 per fig for this big haul here. Oh no, it looks like parts and pieces. Hopefully there's some good stuff in here. It's certainly a lot of stuff. So if you're interested in any of this stuff here, we keep a little bit of it for our own collection. We sell a little bit of it to kind of fund our own Lego habit. And it's just kind of fun to go treasure hunting Lego style, So here we go. This is going to have to be a handfuls situation because it's a lot of parts and pieces. Look at that. That's the warrior woman with that sweet shield. That's a nice piece right there. Can't remember what she goes for, but if you've got her spear or weapon or whatever it is, I'd bet it's $8 to $10 at this point, maybe more than that. But some good pieces there. That may be Rapunzel hair right there. Not a lot otherwise to speak of right there. It only takes a few treasures at $1.50 a fig to really kind of do okay. Whoa, look at this motorcycle guy. He's awesome. Look at that guy. He's really fun. We've got some old vulture. I think that's some vulture wings. Not much to speak of. Maybe some classic space helmets, that kind of thing. Hey, look at that. That's the evil dwarf right there. Nice. Some good CMFs so far. Some kind of fantasy CMFs, which probably are kind of, as a whole, the most valuable CMFs. So the dwarf, that's nice right there. Not sure what those legs are. That's some funny dark orange hair or whatever that is. Not much to speak of there. Let's see. More nothing. Some city figs. Hey, that's dirty, dirt stains, dusty, whatever, Lone Ranger right there. We've got the hazmat guy. That's a surprisingly expensive fig, actually, considering he doesn't really fall into the fantasy category for CMF, but does have some good value. Some printed brown legs there. That looks like that may be from Ice Planet. Those little visors are in demand. That gold spear, does that go with the warrior woman? I can't remember, but I think the gold spear has some good value there. That is totally destroyed, so we won't even worry about that any further. I have learned recently that some of these little statues, I don't think it's very many, but some of these little statues have some decent value. That looks like Chima, and I don't know what that dark red one is. I think the ones you really want to find are the Batman ones, which, are obviously hard to find because they're valuable. Or maybe the other way around, right? They're valuable because they're hard to find. Anyway, we've got some lances. We've got an old Western hat here. Let's see. That looks like that is some pirate hair, maybe from Pirates of the Caribbean. That has been Sharpied, something fierce right there. Don't know what that is. So we'll dump that. All right, this feels like maybe the value is coming from CMF so far. There's another good example of that. There's the Minotaur. Nice. All right. These kind of random, parts and pieces don't have tons of value per. But if you can find buyers for them, you can liquidate money. And that's kind of what my strategy is to bulk sell some of this type of stuff. That's got a couple dings on the back. Too bad, because that's a fun, I don't know, admiral, pirate, whatever. But if you can, bulk sell some of that stuff and just kind of liquidate money, you can buy more hauls and keep playing the game. There's the detective CMF. There's the football player CMF. That looks like some kind of purple pirate hat or something. If I skip over something, guys, let me know. If you see something and I just kind of toss it to the side and it's actually a fun or valuable thing, let me know. That's a crazy looking guy. Actually, I think this torso has some decent value. I don't know, some kind of old, space alien type thing. But it takes a specific buyer to want that for sure. Let's see. What else do we got in this handful? Anything? Not much to speak of there. There's a Qui-Gon Jinn headpiece. Those Qui-Gon Jinns can have some pretty good value. I don't know if the heads are kind of the valuable part or not, but they can have some valuable... Hey, look at that. That's the Queen. She is missing her capes, unfortunately. That triggers a memory that maybe is that the Queen's hair? That doesn't look right. Maybe it is. There's the Zookeeper CMF, I think. I keep finding these hairs. I think these go to Avatar figs. Not much to speak of in that handful. But we're not completely crushing this. At 150 bucks, though, there's just so much quantity here that we'll be fine so far, but we're not, crushing this all. Look at that red dragon armor. Let's go. That's another Admiral. Oops, where'd it go? Oh, great, it's gone. Oh, there it is. I've been saving these because I have visions of doing a red dragon army. So I don't know what the value is. I think it's decent on that, but that will not get sold. That'll be for me. Not much to speak of there otherwise. Sometimes I'll scoop up hauls like this if the price is right, just because it has oh yes, let's go. Let's go. Because it has stuff like this that I want, and I know I can fairly quickly kind of get my money back on the rest of it, maybe make a little bit. That looks like that's an Atlantis head right there. And even if I'm not going to make a killing on it, I can kind of liquidate the money fairly quickly and maybe make a little bit, but also get to keep some cool stuff. And that's kind of part of fun of the game. Look at that. That's a dwarf metallic silver helmet there. I think the pearl dark gray ones are the best ones, but, still pretty good value there. Let's see. Man, are we going to find something really good? Look at that. That's a weird color for that ponytail piece. Not crushing this handful, that's for sure. I don't see a lot there. Yikes. Okay. That's a petri dish from something else. Hey, look at that. There you go. Look at that. That's like, I don't know, $15, $20 right there. Roman, Gladiator, Spartan. I don't know. Okay, I'm all straight. But pretty good nonetheless. That one I think people will pay good money for, especially that helmet. That's a good one too, that alien right there. I think he needs a 3-length bar, unfortunately, because the 3-length ones are really hard to find. But the alien itself has good value, and I spotted something I don't want to lose. That right there. I don't know if it goes to this guy, but for now it's going to go to this guy. This little plume thing we'll put in there because I don't want to lose it. Because that's an expensive piece for sure. Let's see. What else do we got in here? Is that the Highlander or is that just a fantasy fig? It might be the Highlander. I'm not sure on that one. Let's see. Some nougat heads, which, add up in value if you're willing to take the time. Otherwise, not much to speak of there. Let's see. What else do we got? I feel like that might be either a torso for an old, like, Spider-Man, or maybe it's a Harry Potter. I can't remember, but it has that kind of vibe to it. That looks like that's an Indiana Jones thing there. Let's see. We're doing okay. We're not killing this haul, but we're doing okay, for sure. There's a fun guitar. Not much to speak of there. What's this? Oh, look at that. That, I believe, is Agent Coulson's head. That is I think the head's pretty expensive, too, actually. Agent Coulson is not a fig that's in super high demand. Is that a good torso, actually? I'm not sure. It might be. That Agent Coulson is hard to find. So for the right buyer, you can get good money for it. How about that? Is that a Star Wars torso? I'm not sure. We'll have to look that one up as well. I just miss stuff, so sometimes when I sell this stuff in bulk, I'm sure that there's some good stuff in these piles that I just kind of just blast past. But you got to kind of weigh how much time are you willing to invest. Look at this one right here. There's the Fortune Teller. Is that series 10? I'm not sure. That's a really nice fig, though. Her stupid tarot cards are impossible to find, but she's really cool. She's got that really cool skirt piece, too. Not much to speak of otherwise in that handful. What the heck? That is going straight into my Halloween town. I'm going to put that off to the side so I don't lose it because that's super cool. Halloween Town is my current project that I'm working on. So, if you're supporting this channel by watching a YouTube video, I do get, some small royalty checks kind of from YouTube. But if you're buying stuff from Bricklink or from whatnot, those funds are currently going to help fund my my Halloween Town project, which I'm hoping will also turn into another marble track Lego 500 race. So we're going to try and combine those two into one thing, which should be a lot of fun to work on. So I'm excited about that. That'll be the fall project. We got a black owl. Maybe that goes into Halloween Town too. We've got a red mohawk. That's fun. Maybe we'll turn that into a flower or something. I don't know. Let's see. Anything else in here? Hey, there's another. Is that the same Roman Spartan or is that the other one? I think that Lego has made two in different series, but my brain can't keep track of which one's which. There's a tauntaun horn. Doesn't have a ton of value, but I always seem to get excited when I find them. Hey, look at that. They're, again, not a lot of value, but for the Islanders collection, that'll be good because those pieces are hard to find. There is the shield for series, I feel like it's 13 or 15 maybe, but that may be about it. What's this shield? There's a bear shield. That's fun. There's a Luke Skywalker head. And these kinds of things, these Luke Skywalker heads, if you're willing to take the time, will add up to be pretty good money. I mean, this is like probably $1.50, $2 head right here on Bricklink. You got to be patient to find the right buyer to be willing to, pay that money, because those buyers may be fewer and farther between, but somebody will buy this for that price. I have no doubt. I've sold many of these before. But the question is, are you willing to take the time to check this thing for quality and then post it to Bricklink and then wait for it to sell and then spend the time to go find it, package it up, and ship it to somebody? If you are, and you multiply that by all these pieces, I'll be golden on a lot like this. If you get impatient and you're not willing to, post this individually and you just toss it on the screen on whatnot with a handful of stuff, you're going to lose a ton of value, but you're going to sell it quick. And that's kind of part of the decision you got to make if you're in this game. How much time are you willing to invest into it versus a quick kind of search, grab what you think is the good stuff, and then sell the rest of it for whatever you can get for it, knowing that you're losing value and you might have even missed something extremely valuable in there. Again, part of the game. If you're willing to invest time, you can do great. But there you go. That's the haul. Thanks for being here, guys. That was fun. Some CMFs. Didn't crush this haul, but we'll be just fine. And we get to keep a few fun things as well. We'll see you next time.